There we go. Might help if I unmute my mic a little bit. I found my super limited edition Make America Make hat where everybody gets triggered. Found it when I was cleaning. So I'm gonna rock that today. Aaron found it in one of our bins of, I think we just had like a bin of random crap. So no, I'm not gonna break a chair. So I've got a new camera here, and I actually got, oh, that's the old one. Well, I can still show you guys here. This is my Brio, okay, which I've been using for a while. And I also have this new one, which has autofocus, and this is 1080-60. And this is a Chinese one from Amazon. See if the autofocus works. We're gonna focus? No. Well, maybe they cloned Logitech, which would make sense why the autofocus doesn't work. But it's actually 1080-60. So we're gonna use that to see how good this is. And it was only $50. So before we get into this, I was originally gonna post a link to a Pi kit on Amazon for you guys to use. Thinking it would be cheaper than our Easy Pi kits, but they're not. So I put a link to our 3B kits because this script I'm using for now only works on the 3Bs and the 3B pluses. So there's a 3B in here, I believe. Let me double check. Yep, 3B 1.2. So if you don't already have a Pi to do this, you can use our Pi kit. You can just wipe the SD card and put Raspbian on there, and there's a link below. And then you install the Tuya convert script. So I already have, I have an SD card that I keep on hand with a little label on it that says Tuya, CONV. So this is pre-set up to flash Tuya devices. Now Tuya is a Chinese company that makes smart home devices, and they sell their chips and protocol and web service to all these other manufacturers. So a lot of these outlets and, you know, light switches and thermostats and everything. So they usually have a Tuya chip in them. Now, a lot of these Tuya chips can be converted. So I'm going to see if I can convert these outlets with this script. I used this already once on an outdoor 4-channel device that I used for my Christmas lights. So I'm going to plug this in and let this boot up here. And the only caveat is because this is going to set up its own access point that is then going, or access point's the wrong word. It's going to set up the Wi-Fi to connect to the Tuya device and act like it's the update server for the Tuya firmware. And it's going to trick the device into thinking that it's talking to Tuya's server, which will then pull Tasmota, which is an open source firmware for these little IoT devices. And if that's successful, we'll be able to use a protocol called MQTT for the outlet to talk to an MQTT server, which you can run on your Octoprint instance. I have an actual MQTT server here for my home automation stuff, so that's what mine talk back to. But then there's also a plugin for Octoprint that can talk to these Tasmota flashed outlets. So let me plug this in, and this will need to go on your wired network because we're going to be using the Wi-Fi to talk to the device. So I've got a little 3-amp output device over here that's on my power strip, so I'm powering that off of my power strip's USB output, and it's not actually a phone charger that's in this outlet. It's actually a 5-volt power supply, which is what you want for Raspberry Pis. Phone chargers monitor how much power the device is drawing, and they scale down as the battery gets fuller and fuller, which is why you don't want to use a phone charger to power Raspberry Pi, because it's a charger, not a power supply. So when you buy the kits from us, those come with a 3-amp power supply, not a USB charger. I'm not saying the Pis don't work on USB charger. I'm saying you're going to get issues with a phone charger versus a power supply. So you should always use a power supply with any Raspberry Pi, and 3-amp output at 5-volt is what these are rated for at max. 2.5 amps is typical draw. But anyways, I usually use 3 with the Pis just so they have enough current. So let's get this plugged into my wired. See here. I've also got an Ethernet jack on my power strip. It's a pass-through, which is nice. Power strip's bolted to my desk. All right. So if I switch over to my auxiliary cam here, you can see I have the Ethernet connected and I have a link and I got my power going in and my Pi is hopefully booted by now. I still see some activity. So if you notice the red light flash there briefly, it's probably because the cheap power supply in my strip is undervolting, but it's not going to kill the Pi. I've run Pis off it before. So I'm guessing, even though it said 3 amps, it's probably like 2 Chinese amps. So I also have this, I found this when I was cleaning. It's a flashlight, but it's got a dual lockout on here, so you have to flip this switch. This is from China. It's also a taser. So that's fun. Got that on Amazon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up, I will share my screen so you guys can see what I'm doing here, but I want to exit all of my, what's the word I'm looking for? All my like chat clients and stuff, so nothing pops up while we're streaming. Let me find my IP address. So you can use a tool like Advanced IP Scanner. Yeah, that's the whole point of the hat, is to make people who aren't that sharp like think it's that. It's funny. It's my troll hat. And actually it's a little tight, so I'm gonna take it off, but I made these a while back. Aaron has one, a couple other people have them. All right, so my IP of this Pi is 172.16.21.126. So let me open up PuTTY here. And I'm going to have to load up Tuya convert because I can't recall the commands, but they have everything documented very well. So I'm going to show you guys that right now. I move all my stuff off my screen that I don't want people seeing. I don't think anybody wants to be reading my my Facebook messages. Or maybe you do, but it's none of your business. All right. So if I switch over to my main monitor here, this is the Tuya convert GitHub repo, and they have a lot of documentation on here, including a video. So you can see here, requirements is Linux computer with a Wi-Fi adapter, secondary Wi-Fi device, example, a smartphone. I have Wi-Fi on my desktop, so I'm going to be using that. And you can see here, they're recommending a 3 or 3B with Raspbian Stretch and its internal Wi-Fi chip. This is what they've tested all on. So I've already gone through the installation here and installed this onto the Pi. So I need to find the Tasmota firmware, which we're going to update after. And let me see. So my IP is 172.16.21.126, and I'm connecting over an SSH session. So it's going to ask me, "Are you sure?" Yeah, I'm sure. It's my Pi. Enter login. Pi and Raspberry are the default logins for an SSH to your Pi. Now you have to enable SSH, and if you Google Raspberry Pi or Raspbian enable SSH, you put a blank file named SSH on the boot partition of the SD card, and next time it starts up, it enables it. So I don't know if there's a way I can make this larger on the screen here. Or not. So I'm just going to go over here, and I should be able to, if I look in here, yeah, I was already in here. So I'm going to do /start_flash.sh. Oh, I probably put in a different directory. Okay, so it's in Tuya convert, so I need to change into that directory. I'm doing ls, and so there we go. Start flash.sh is in there, so I can run this, and the script's going to run. it says UDP ports occupied by DNS mask. Do you want to terminate it? Yes, we're going to go ahead and tell it to terminate so it can load its own services. So you can see it's setting up different things on this Pi right now. So it's saying, this is occupied. Do you want me to terminate this? Yes, we're just going to tell it to terminate everything and let it do its own thing. So I have the device, and what's going to want to do is have me turn this on. And let's see, connect any device, okay, to the vtrust.flash. I don't remember this last time, hang on. Let me see, initial configuration, that's fine. Follow the steps, okay. So connect any other device to the Wi-Fi vtrust flash. Put your IoT device in auto config, okay. It's usually done by pressing and holding the primary button of the device. I have one button on the device, so that's what I'm going to press and hold. I'm going to connect my computer here to vtrust flash. And then I'm going to plug this device into my wall. Microsoft is going to try to connect to a connection test. Hopefully this doesn't mess with the stream. It shouldn't. And then I'm going to plug this in and press and hold the button. So let me switch over here. So I have my eFun. Those are my granola bars. I have my eFun device here. Into my power strip. This camera does not get exposure very good, or very well. Okay, so it's already in pairing mode. I've never hooked these up to a computer or anything else, so it is already in pairing mode. This camera is not doing too well, but you can see it's in pairing mode. Oh, there we go, it focused. And now I'm going to go on my computer, press enter. And I'm going to leave this so you guys can see the light flashing there. And I'm going back to my SSH terminal. I'm going to hit enter. So it's trying. Oh, it did something. The lights are changing on the outlet. And I'm going to switch over here, main monitor. You can see here it's sending the smart config packets. When we look at that, our light is solid now. So this successfully connected, it looks like, to the outlet, which is good, which means we should be able to load Tasmota on here. Now, a lot of these devices, they've been patching these little workarounds in them, so you might not be able to flash these devices if they've updated them or there's a different chip. Now, this particular one, this eFun SH331W is the model number. It's on the box, and I put links down on the bottom. Had a lot of reviews saying people were successful with flashing this with Tasmota. So that's why I purchased this specific set of outlets. And this was $31 for 4 outlets. That's $8.50 an outlet, roughly. And there's a 2-pack, which is $9 an outlet, which is crazy. So you can see here, it's currently transferring at the bottom here. So if I go right here, you can see here, it's transferring the firmware over to that outlet right now. So that's good. I don't know how long this is going to take. It's not going very fast. Time spent, let's see, total. It's hanging. I'm wondering if this is actually going to be able to flash this. As you can see here, it's trying. The power light on the eFun outlet is no longer on. But it did try. It tried to do something. I'm going to give this a sec. I'm looking through here. Let's see what they say if it's not working correctly. They shouldn't mess up your garage door opener signal. These are 2.4 gigahertz. I could see something like Z-Wave maybe doing that because that's on a different frequency depending on what your garage door opener ran on. The original firmware will be automatically downloaded and stored locally. You can then proceed to flash your device or revert back to the stock firmware. So it doesn't look like it actually sent anything. So what I'm going to do is do a Control-C to break out of this. I'm just going to reboot the Pi. It should get the same IP. I'm just going to wait and see the Pi come back up, and then I'm going to restart the process. I'm going to unplug the outlet. Give it a sec. Plug it back in. And when you get these new out of the box, because this was new out of the box, they will come in pairing mode. So you see I plugged this back in. I got no light on here. I press and hold this again. Let's see if I have any other SSIDs on showing up now. Maybe it did flash, maybe it didn't. We'll see. I see vTrust recovery. Interesting. So it tried to do something. This is interesting. So if I look at my Wi-Fi now, there's vTrust-recovery, which I'm going to assume is coming from this device. So it did something to it. The other outlet I did with this same setup just flashed. It worked. So, but it did something to it because we're showing this SSID here, and yeah, it went away. Somebody went away. Let's see. Let me rescan here. What the hell's the rescan on Windows 10? Unless that's the Pi broadcasting. It might not. Let me see. I just unplugged the outlet again. Worst case scenario, I pop this open and we flash it the old way, which is soldering right onto the RX and TX and VCC and ground headers, which is not a terrible idea. It's just not as easy as this. So vTrust recovery, I think this is coming from the Pi. I don't think this is coming from the outlet because it's unplugged right now. Let me toggle it back on and off here. Make sure it's not seeing like a cache result. Oh, it's not. Okay, so vTrust recovery is coming from the outlet. So I'm going to plug it back in. It doesn't show anything. Let me plug it back in while holding the power button, because sometimes that'll put them into recovery. Definitely did something because it's showing that SSID, which the vTrust SSID comes from the OTA flashing. So let's see. Let's toggle my Wi-Fi. It's probably taking a sec to boot. So let me get back into the Pi. I'm going to load PuTTY. And we're going to log back into the Pi. Let me see if I make this terminal bigger for you guys so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Window appearance. Change. Oh, let's do like 20-point font so you guys can see. How's that? Actually, I'm going to go with like 16 in bold. Is that better? 18 in bold? Let's do 18 in bold. 21.126. There we go. Pi. Raspberry. And remember, I got to change directory into the Tuya convert folder, and then let's start the flash again. Let's see. So remember, just tell it yes. Go ahead and terminate any running services. Oh. Accidentally hit. So if you hit another number or another key when you're going through a script on Linux, it'll queue it up and then send it after, which is why it aborted. So let's see. I'm going to Google also Tuya convert vTrust recovery. Let's see what they say. Wi-Fi showing issue with flash plug. Wi-Fi showing vTrust recovery. I'm going to try to connect to the vTrust flash. And see if it sees that AP, if it's going to try to connect to it. It says IoT devices online. That's interesting. So let's see what this GitHub thing. Make sure you can access the VTrust flash and reconnect your device. You should be able to curl. See, it didn't flash completely. I tried to sort it today. Enter the current device. Make sure you can access VTrust flash AP, then reconnect the device. I can. I am connected to VTrust flash. What is this? Tuya convert help. Okay, do not connect your device to power, obviously, or to their service, right here. The device you use to connect the VTrust flash matters. I did the last one with my computer. Well, I got a smartphone sitting here. Let's give it a shot. Let's see, can I ping the outlet? Supposedly on 10.42.42.42. I can. So let's see if that's actually the outlet. I'm going to pull it. Let me see if I get a web interface. Do I get anything? Nothing. All right, well, we can see if this is the outlet by if I unplug it here. Yep. Okay, so the outlet was connected to the Pi. So let me try connecting. Let me abort the script here. And I'm just going to restart it because I want to make sure all the previous sessions are closed out. And I'm going to make sure this doesn't. So it's not going to auto-connect. I'm going to connect my phone this time. Looks like VTrust flash is, or VTrust recovery, which is what we were saying, is something that the Tuya convert is looking for and connects to, which is good. So see if the Pi came back up yet. Nope, didn't come back up yet. It doesn't take that long to connect. There we go. Oh, it didn't save my options for the screen settings. I gotta save that per session. 26. Go ahead and make this bigger so you guys can see it. So let's change directory, start flash, and this time I'm connecting my phone to that access point. I'm not going to connect my computer. So I'm waiting on my phone here. I'm refreshing. Wait until I see. So I see VTrust recovery. I'm waiting to see for that AP. So I see VTrust flash. I'm connecting my phone to that. Let's see here. Still not doing anything. So they're saying here, you can access VTrust flash. Make sure you can access the AP, which we can, to reconnect your device. You should be able to curl 10.42.42.42 flash 3. So let me just let that be and open up another session because we can have multiple sessions going. And is curl available? It is. Okay. So now files. So Tasmota.bin. So let me try this curl. 10.42.42.42, which should be the outlet, slash Tasmota.bin. Oh wait, Yeah, curl should send. Yeah, curl should send that file unless I'm. Hang on. It's been a while since I've used curl. Let me just actually type what they say here. Curl's ascending, so how's it getting that file? See here. So people are asking. So this is why I did this, because I felt like I'm probably going to hit a snag and it'd be good to document this. Let's see. Somewhere picky, I was able to recover all of them following the tips I provided in the help document. Okay, so that's the document that I downloaded here. That's this PDF. So let's see. Dirty power. I don't think we're having an issue with dirty power. That's going right to my wall. Distance from V-Trust flash can impact success. Obviously, they're like 2 feet apart. When you see the first stage is counter rush to see if you can recover your module. As you run the script for a second time, give the process about 10 to 15 seconds before pressing enter to begin. So you can see here, it's doing something else. It says trying to get info from IoT device. Change the sequence. All right, so let's see here. I'm going to see if that'll fail here. If your module is stuck in stage 1 as described earlier, start the Tuya convert process again. Leave the IoT device disconnected from power. Once the dots start to flow, plug the IoT device into power. Then you look, it will almost instantly connect, come online, and begin the backup process. If you have a failed backup, a file will exist. On a second attempt, it will skip trying to backup. If you don't want the backup, this is okay and allow you to get to the flashing stage. So let me terminate this process. Yeah, so you can see here, 11/22/2019. Let's try clearing these out. $2020. Oh, I forgot a 0. I was like, why is this not? This is not auto completing. All right, so let's start this again here. Try it again. So once those start to flow, plug it in. Okay. And someone said, so here on the second attempt, give the process 10 to 15 seconds to set up before pressing enter again. So let's do 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. My phone automatically connected to it. Try to do something. You can see there, it like started and then just stopped. Try a different Wi-Fi device. Yeah, that's not something I really want to do. I'm just gonna let it sit here. Yeah, I know he tabbed autocomplete. It helps it. But I have What's around from your Pi? That's the Pi's network. That's Wi-Fi. So if I try to connect the VTrust flash, you can see 10.40.42.42.1. Yeah, so here you go. So this is the Pi, and 42.2. I don't have advanced IP scanner installed, so let's get that. So there should be 4 devices. Well, phone, computer, Pi, and then the outlet. So yeah, 4 devices on that network. If this doesn't work, what I'm going to do is just open it up. So let's see what we have on here. So we got the Pi and my computer showing. 42 should be the Wi-Fi outlet, ideally. So my phone's still connected too. So 20.20, let's see, let me look at my phone. Yep, that's my phone. And there's the outlet. So the outlet is still connected. Let's see if there's any other information, because it got some firmware onto that. It's showing VTrust flash now. Or VTrust, it was showing that VTrust recovery. So it obviously got something to the device, because that's not a standard SSID name that these will broadcast. So this wasn't much help. Let me see if let me search this model number, SH331W. So this process I'm going through of ruling things out and trying to figure out what is going on is what you guys normally won't see, because I'm just doing this on my own. And I am human, so not everything goes right for me on the same exact thing, because I know this, I can flash other devices. There we go, device seems, let's see, let's read all these old bug reports and see what's going on here. There's a troubleshooting one. Let's see if this is any different than that one document. So this is exactly what I did. It says VTrust recovery SSID is visible. Device is running intermediate firmware but could not connect to VTrust flash. Make sure start flash is running and VTrust flash is visible, then unplug and plug your device back in. Wait a minute for the script continue. Well, we're waiting. I wonder how long. I wonder if it's just going to catch or if I need to restart something. There's no... We look at the outlet here. I'm not impressed with the color balance on this. This camera is getting the advertised frame rate of 1080/60 for $50. So I'm pretty happy with that. The autofocus seems to be a little better than Logitech's, which is not hard to do. So you can see there's nothing going on with the outlet. And there's nothing happening on the script side here either on the Pi. I wish I had. I wonder if I have another Tasmota capable device that I could show, because the one I used this on last was a 4-port or 4-outlet like outside power strip that I bought on Amazon. But I have 4 of these. Here, how about this? How about I try another one? I've got 4 of these outlets. Let's cancel this and reboot. And try another one that's brand new, which this one was, but I've got 3 more. Let's see if it's just this one or if all these do the same thing. Because worst case scenario, I will open that up and show you guys how to do it. But if you have a device that is compatible, maybe I just had a fluke here, but well, talent support, I can't check that right now because I just killed it. But let me plug it back in and we'll try again here. So. Well, I'm going to remote desktop. We don't want remote desktop. That's not going to help us here. And I'm going to say this as Tuya I. So there we go. I. Raspberry. Try this. What would I recommend? A mesh router setup or just a more powerful router? Multiple APs spread out at lower transmit powers. That's what I'd recommend. All right, let me connect. Oh, my phone connected anyway, so. Being 10.42.42.42. So it is. Oh, we got something. Let me run a continuous ping to see. My computer just be like, nope. Oh, really? Come on, connect to it. I don't care if it doesn't have internet. Stay connected. There we go. Okay, request timed out. Intermittent. This is interesting. Someone said try Telnet. Port 80. Telnet's port 80. Let's see. It's a good idea. Telnet. Well, let's try the default 23, see if we get anything. Nope. Let's try 80. Telnet. Oh, it just closed out. See if I get any response. No, it's just closing it out. Interesting. Oh, wait. Did you guys see this? It says 1%. Weird. I'm thinking maybe I should just let this ride. What do you guys think? My phone's never connected to the plug. It's connected to the Pi's access point. We didn't see the 1%. I just realized that. It's showing 1% right now. So I'm going to give it, I don't know, let's say like 2 minutes or so and see if it actually comes up. Because the LED on the outlet is not changing status. Add in the view of this. So I don't think I have zoom control on this. Even digital's fine. Let's see what options I have on this fancy camera. Yeah, no zoom. This has autofocus, but 189.80 is what it says received so far. It's replying to the ping here. So this window here is a continuous ping through the outlet itself. Just wondering if there's anything else here. So it's getting the IP. And that VTrust recovery is showing. Let me try unplugging and replugging it. While it's running. So you see that a continuous ping dropped off. And now it's back. Now the outlet's back up. 'Cause last time my phone's disconnected now. I told it not to reconnect. My computer's connected though. Guy on Amazon said he bought 4, could only get 1 flash. OTA had to open the other 3. I'm not opposed to opening them, but this is way easier. So let's just do this. Let's start over. I'm gonna start flash here. And as you see on here, you should see it. There you go. So it's flashing fast, so it's already in pairing mode. I apologize for the autofocus not working. Let me select camera here. USB live camera. Let's see if I can lock the focus in. There we go. So it does have autofocus. All right, so we're in pairing mode. My computer's connected. This 42 should start replying once this comes back on. So let me hit enter. And let's see. Oh, so there you go. It's doing something with the outlet. You can see there. It went solid for a sec. Let's see here. You can see there it's solid now. So it's doing something. Oh, look at this one looks like it's taking the firmware. You guys see this? It's weird that it's not replying though to the ping here, unless it's my ARP. Hang on. Can't remember. ARP-A will list it. I'm not gonna even clear that out. Let me try. That's not even the ARP table. Okay, here we go. Cool. So we're here. Flash Tasmota. So I know this works with Tasmota. You want to flash Tasmota? Yes. Do I want to flash another device? Yes, I do. Let's try the other two. And we should see it. There we go. See Tasmota-2875. So that one flashed. So let's try the next one. I'll update Tasmota when we're done. That one's flashed. Let's try this one. Wait for it to flash. There we go. Do you want to flash another device? Go. I'm going to close out the continuous ping here. Oh. So we got one. Because I bought these because I'm going to put these on a bunch of printers in here. And these are so small. Like, look how small these are. They say they're rated up to 10 amps. I would probably say they're close to 5 or 6, which is good for most printers. This one's taking it too. Look at that. 2 out of 4 so far. 2 out of 4. It's not terrible. Plus now I have an excuse to take the other one apart. Let's see, 93%. It's gonna ask me if I want Tasmota. I want Tasmota. Yes. And now it's gonna flash Tasmota. And what's his name? Where is he? Old Curmudgeon said Tasmota's up to 8x now. Yes, I'm aware. I'm pretty sure some of my devices here are out of date, but they're all local. I don't really care. And let's see, we got a Tasmota SSID. There we go, 2112. That other one, obviously, Windows is caching. But there we go. So that's 2 out of 4 that worked. Hey, let's try a third. You guys want to take bets on if this one's gonna work or not? So I'm going to wait for that to start flashing. There we go. So I'm going to tell it, yes, I want to do another device. I'm going to give it a couple secs for everything to level out. I don't have any other apps. None of them. These literally, I opened the box and looked at them. That's all that happened to them before you guys are seeing them now. These are other outlets. I have a 4-pack. See, here's 2 that are already flashed. Ooh, this one's stalling out. Look at this one's stalling out. It got a little bit, and now it bombed out. I'm gonna let it sit for about a minute here. I think there's slight differences in the firmware that come on these. That's what my theory is. These might have had an older firmware that haven't been patched yet. Whereas, I mean, are there any different markers on here? Because they could be from different batches. Now, as far as I can tell, they look the same. What I can see in here, they look the same. Don't plug it in until script. I plugged the other one in before. See what we get. I'll restart the script here. Fine, I'll try it your way. So I'm gonna take the plastic protective film off the ones that I know are not flashed. Was I already taken it off the other one? Alright, so it says it's available. Plug it in. I gotta reconnect my computer to this. Trust flash. I'm not familiar with the Wise ones. That's the Pi. Come on, my computer needs to connect. Okay, it's connected. Okay, the outlet's connected. Ooh! 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 Aha! Then I just got lucky with the other 2? Let's see. Because this is one that failed. I'm going to try with this other one. Maybe I'll get away with having to not open them. I don't care what it was. So it tells you to connect it here and have it in the fast blinking mode, but obviously they're particular about when they need to be plugged in. Tasmota. Yes. Let's see if I see the Tasmota SSID. Yes, I do. 2087. All right, there's 3 for 4. Let's try the last one. Maybe it's just the timing. So the good thing is this is recorded, so I can go back and see exactly the timing. So I'm going to tell it yes. So you're saying wait. Okay, so I'm going to wait a sec and plug this in and wait for it to connect. I'm assuming that's what you're saying here. Okay, so there we go. Look at That one connected. So let's see. Ah! Okay, so that's apparently the process. Now here's what you can do. See how I had the continuous ping going and my computer's connected? I would assume after you get a couple replies, go ahead and hit enter. So if you run a continuous ping to 10, 42, 42, 42, wait for a couple replies and then hit enter. It's all got to do with the timing of it. It's weird. But I'm not going to complain. So this is 4 out of 4 flashed. Hell yeah. Tasmota. Yes. Now, there's a couple things we need to do to each of these modules. So now I'm done with the Pi. We're done with the Pi, so I'm going to do a sudo alt, and that's going to shut the Pi down. So the Pi is now shut down. I should see that Tasmota SSID. So I do. So obviously Windows is caching this other one. So 79.49 is the SSID for this eFun. I'm going to connect to this, and you need to tell it what module you have, okay? So I'm trying to remember the IP. 10.192.168.4.1. So you go to 192.168.4.1, and this is the Tasmota interface. So I'm going to put my SSID in here. Is it going to show my password? No, it's not. So there's my 2.4. Now these are only 2.4 devices for the ones I'm using anyways. And I'm just going to leave that for default. So you hit save, and so now this is going to show up on my network. So let me switch over to just the little Wi-Fi thing, and I'm going to grab the IP, and it's already on my network. That's fantastic. Okay, so if I switch back here, I am now in, this is the Wi-Fi outlet connected to my home network. So what you want to do then is we're going to upgrade the firmware. So I'm going to go to Tasmota's GitHub here, and I'm going to download the latest Tasmota file. So I can go to releases, and they're on 8.1. And usually you can just grab the tasmota.bin. This device should support the regular tasmota.bin. So I'm going to hit firmware upgrade. And you can actually just hit this. I'm pretty sure this will pull it down too. It doesn't take long for it to flash. Let me try that. I forgot they got the URL in there. But you can upload your own bin file if you want. Yeah, there is a template for this. So how Tasmota works with setting devices up is a thing called templates. And templates tell it what is on each of the GPIO pins. So this is not upgrading. So I'm just going to do a manual. So I'm going to hit firmware upgrade here. Unless this is a cache page. There we go. Okay. Oh, minimal firmware, please upgrade. Oh, it's 8.10. Okay, so let me hit start upgrade again. Didn't like that. Maybe I jumped the gun on it. Well, let's see if it comes back up. It did come back up. It is not happy with me. Doing something. Okay, so it did. So basically, I hit firmware upgrade. I hit start upgrade. It flashed a minimal version of 8.1. Then I hit it again. And it pulled down the full version. You can also hit choose file and, you know, browse here and upload the tasmota.bin and hit start upgrade. So you can see here in my browser, it's uploading the file. Oh, can this one not get... What version? We're on 8.1. Maybe you can't go 8.1 over 8.1. Looks like everything's in here. So if I go to configuration, do we got MT? We do have MQTT options. So this is where you put in the information for your MQTT server, your login, your password. Now, here's one thing you want to change is the topic. So if you have one device, it's not a big deal. But if you have another device, like I have multiple of these outlets, what I'll usually do is I'll name the topic, you know, like Wi-Fi plug 1 or printer plug 1 or something, and then put a label on it so I know which one it is. But the thing is, if I set both of these outlets or all of these outlets to the same topic, what happens is that if I tell it to turn on, it's going to turn all of them on because they're all looking at the same topic and prefixes and all that other stuff. So you can change that right here to delineate this plug from another plug. So basically with MQTT, you can go ahead and use these to control your printer. Now we need to configure what's called the module. So if I go back to the main menu here and go to configuration and hit configure module, you'll see there's a bunch of templates in here for different types of devices they support. Now, this one was listed on the template site, but I don't know if it's actually in the firmware. It's not. So what you have to do is you have to set up a custom template. So you can go into configure template and you can set this up on your own, or if you go to the console, you can actually input your template in here. So can't remember the name of the site. I'll put this in the video description, but there is a site that has, here we go. So templates.blakadder.com. So if I go to plugs and sockets here on the left, and this is the 331W. There we go, eFun SH331W. Oh, do these do power monitoring? Oh, it does. Holy crap. These do power monitoring. For $8.50 a thing? Holy crap. All right, so here's the template. So if I copy this and I paste this in here, I believe I just have to put that in there. If that's correct. If anybody knows better than me. It's been a while. I always like when I'm setting this up. Hang on, how the hell do you add templates? I remember pasting this in. Let's see here. Let me just see. They probably have a thing here. Do they have how to use templates? Here we go. So configuration, configure other. Here we go. I'm an idiot. Configuration, configure other, and here we go. Here's the template. So I paste that in here. Check activate. Hit save, and it's going to restart. The thing I'm thinking about is you have to, if you want discovery with Home Assistant, which is what I use. There we go. Look at that. Look at the LED toggle on, off, on, or off, on. This should still work too. Yep. Now let's see. Let's see if this does do energy monitoring. Let me plug my heater, my little heat gun in. Let's see how accurate it is. Hang on. Oh, I can do the template. I can do the power calibration. So there is an Octoprint plugin already. So I have a kilowatt here. So let's see how accurate it is. Okay. There we go. So watts. Now let's plug this. So there's high. It says power factor is 0.97. It says. 1.0, which it's resistive, so it technically should be. $282 and it's showing 264 in the web interface. So if I drop this down at about 150, we're reading 140, so it's slightly off. So, but since I have the kilowatt and I know that's calibrated, now what I can do is calibrate it. So if I go back here, you'll see it says for more accurate energy consumption, you can't see it, it's cut off by the, for more accurate energy consumption measurements, this device requires power monitoring calibration. So they say use it with a heater. So, but the thing is, I have this meter on here, and I know the power factor is 1. So you can do. Oh, here we go. They even say plug your load into the kilowatt. Optional. Well, I have a kilowatt. There's links in the video right now for these plugs. Look in the video description. I totally forgot that these had energy monitoring. I saw it when I ordered them, but I forgot. So you can see how much power your printer's pulling. All right, so it says verify the power reading in the UI. Option with the power for the expected wattage. Adjust the power offset if needed in watts. If you're using something other than a 60-watt bulb, enter your load's rating. So, okay, open with click console. Keep the other page open. So they want us to have 2 tabs. So I'm going to open this, open another tab here. And I'm going to go to my console. And what the power command is, okay, keep the power on the other page. Turn on your device. Be sure to turn the output on so the load is powered as well. Wait a few seconds for it to stabilize. Verify the power reading. Okay, so let me turn this on. I'm going to do 150-watt load. I'll let it stabilize. So we're in about right around 150, it looks like. 144 apparently. Oh, this is like, I hear the motor change. So I'm gonna calibrate at 150. So power set 150. Cool, it was that easy. Look at that. We're spot on now. We're bang on. Oh, you guys can't see. Hang on. We're bang on here. 150, 150. Let me crank it up. Look at that. We're within, I don't know, we're within like 5 watts here. For an $8.50 device, this is fantastic. This is amazing. So, and here's the thing. A lot of these Chinese smart devices, I don't trust them. The Chinese are known for putting backdoors and shit like this. By putting Tasmota on here, you have completely taken over control of this device, and if there were any backdoors, they're gone. They're gone. They're out of there. So, that's awesome. So let's say again, 154, 153. It's within a watt now of the kilowatt hour, or the kilowatt meter. Let me plug something else in. What do I have? I got plug the SVO1 in. All right, I'm going to tell it to heat the bed and the hot end. I'll be honest with you, for $8.50, I'm not going to expect anything out of this world quality-wise. All right, I'm telling it to preheat PLA. There we go. Oh yeah, there we go. So my kilowatt hour is saying like 324, 320. We're a total of about 3 or 4 watts off. I don't care. That's accurate enough. Look at that. So 3.5 amps. Look at that. That's fantastic. So, and I can shut the printer off. So if I do this, printer's off. Do that, printer's on. Oh, we're back in volts mode. So here's just the bed. This is on a Solval SVO1, not an Ender 3. So there we go. 260 watts. We're reading 260. We're almost bang on in there. See, the power factor is like 0.77, which is what I would expect for these type of power supplies. Now I'm going to preheat just the hot end. There we go, about 55 watts coming out. That's within 1 to 2 watts now. If you look, our outlet's reporting like 54, 52. It's within a couple watts of the kilowatt. So that's more than adequate for me. I'm probably not going to actually use the power data. It's just nice that this has it, especially for such a cheap device. The lesson learned, if you have some weirdness where the devices won't flash, wait a little bit. What did we do? We waited until the thing said it was an AP mode and plugged them in. So that's pretty nice. Yeah, so this is pulling 3.3 amps roughly. And you can see the hot end's getting close to temp, so the watts are going to start fluctuating a little bit. See how our power usage is dropping? I'm going to let the bed heat up too, so you guys can see what happens when your printer goes into full heat mode where everything's at temperature and you're no longer getting up to temp. You can see the amps are going to start dropping off quite rapidly, and it's going to be pulsing then at that point. So this circuit I'm plugged into right now is this wall here, these two walls are on their own 20 amp, and this rack over here has its own 20 amp circuit. And then in our print farm, we've got 10 20 amp circuits. We're at 48C on the bed. I'm waiting for that bed to get into, I can't remember if it's in bang bang mode, which means off then on, or PID. I think it's bang bang mode, which means it's going to turn it on for a little bit, turn it off, turn it on, versus PID is very rapid. Your hot end's PID regulation, where it's fluctuating really fast. Now, you can use PID on the bed, but with the firmware, it's got the easy board in it. With the firmware I have set up, by default, it's bang bang, because a lot of people complain with the higher watt beds and our MOSFET our MOSFETs on these boards are really, really low RDS on values, so they actually allow the bed to heat a little quicker than the Creality ones because they push the power through. They're not choking it. People were complaining about their lights flickering when we had bed PID enabled because their printer's pulling more current out of the wall because it wasn't being choked by the MOSFET. Is the plug getting hot? Warm, but not hot. I can get the thermal cam out if you guys want. The lights in my bathroom, the LED lights, if the print farm's running, because it's the shop is fed off the house from a sub panel, you can visibly see the lights flickering from the beds all cycling on and off at different times. So my bed's at 60. Oh, you can see so look at, the bed is not being heated right now. We're pulling about 70 watts. Oh, bed kicks back on in a little bit here. You can see here. See it kicking back up, so the bed just kicked back on. And it's going to do this on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. Now, PID regulation is going to be, flapping that MOSFET on and off very fast, which is fine. But you can get flickering with the lights on the same circuit, or even ones that are off the same panel. Yeah, laser printers do that too because they have such a high amp draw. So, but you can see here, watch the watts fluctuating, and the printer's at temp now, so it's just turning the heaters on and off as it needs to maintain temperature. So, if I do, here. Uh-oh. It's hitting my power cord. I didn't think about that when I set the power cord there. Just a few steps, nothing big deal. But you see, the motors don't use that much power. Yeah, this would be good for a machine control just for like one printer. I want to put more than one printer on here. But at $8.50, who cares? This is fantastic. So, yeah. Let me show you guys how I'm going to configure these plugs, and I'm going to show, yeah, maybe check the plug after a while. Yeah, I will. I'm going to be putting out, it's barely even getting warm right now. And it's going to get warm because it's got a step down in there for the low voltage of the Wi-Fi operation, so it's going to generate some heat when it's just idling. But what I want to do is rename this plug. And you can see here's the template. So we put the template in. And let me show you guys this because it's kind of cool. So you can see here all the GPIO pins. So you've got multiple LEDs, and you got one on GPIO 0, another on GPIO 2. This looks to be, I'm assuming the BL0937 is the current sense. BL0937, let's see what that is. That's a current sensor. So that's on GPIO 5. And I'm assuming these are bootloader let me Google this. HLWBLCF1. HLWBLCF1. What is that? What does this come up with? Oh, it's power. It's the power it's related to power calibration. So the power monitoring uses 3 GPIO pins here. So you got 5, 12, and 14 here. Interesting. I haven't put, this is the first device I put Tasmota on that has a power monitoring feature in it, which is really neat. So, yeah, this guy's like, I don't know what this is. Oh, okay, so current and voltage. So, SELI and CF, these are related to current and voltage. Here we go. CF1 is a toggling of the current voltage input signal, and SEL or SELI is a type of signal on that input. So in Tasmota, if you change something to an I, that's inverted. So these are the same thing, it's just this is inverted logic. So these 3 pins are for the current monitoring, and then you've got the button, and then the relay is on GPIO 15. So yeah, it's really cool. So you can use this on any ESP8266 device. If you made your own, you could use Tasmota on it. I'm trying to remember where the name is set. It's not that. Where is it? It's not information. This is just strictly info. There's a way to name it. Not module. Oh, here we go. Friendly name. This is what I was looking for. So this is usually where I'll set my name. So I'm going to call this printer plug 1. I'll make it short. So PP1, so printer plug 1, T office. Let's keep it simple. I'm going to label this. Tim doesn't always cost me money, but usually he does. PP1, PP. PP1_T office. So I know now that this one's configured to connect to my office Wi-Fi. And really, we're not going to print? Are we out of tape? We're out of tape. Of course we are. Aaron should be here. Ran out of tape. That's disappointing. He's not answering. All right, well, how should I figure this out? Right on it. Let's just do that. So, let's see. No weird smells coming from it. Slightly warm. Nothing crazy. I'm just going to write on the back of this for now, and I'll put a proper label on it. I'm just going to put a 1 on here. So I know that this is configured as outlet number 1. So let's go ahead and plug that in, and now we have to configure the template. So, and calibrate the wattage. So, and like their documents say, you want to use a resistive load. I was a little worried because this has a motor in it, but it's mostly a resistive element. So it is what it is. All right, so what I'm going to do now is connect to that. So we should see Tasmota. There we go. And we do the same thing. Microsoft, I don't care. There's not going to be Wi-Fi on an outlet. Or internet, I should say. So put my SSID in. Hit save. And if I look at my DHCP leases here, I'm just going to look for a Tasmota device popping up. There we go. And I want to go to configuration. Oh, wait. Update. We got to update. So main menu, firmware upgrade. And I'm going to do the bin file for this one. Start upgrade. Kill a watt. KILL-A-WATT. Upload buffer miscompare. What the hell? Is it just throwing this error for funsies, or it's actually flashing or not? No, it's not flashing. All right, well, let me just do the same thing I did. So if I do this, it's probably going to flash the minimal. And then we flash the full one. This is the kind of stuff I play around with in my spare time, is like home automation stuff. And the fact that I can just take over a little device like this and not have to worry about all the Chinese crap apps that they have is fantastic. Hang on one second. I need to message Aaron and ask him if he has more of those labels. Got. All right, so let me refresh this. Oh, did this not reconnect? It's not shown in here. We have a Tasmota SSID. I don't see one. Oh, there we go. Okay. So that's interesting. So this one isn't saying that it has the minimal firmware. So your miles may vary apparently. So, but what I need to do is configuration, configure other, change this. I'm going to call this PP to T office. And where's my thing here? I need to get my template here. So this is the 331W. Yeah, 331W. Oh, I did plugs. I did switches. 331W eFun. So I'm going to copy this, paste it in here, hit save. And now it's going to restart. So now all I have to do then is calibrate the power configuration. And when I set up MQTT, what I'm going to want to do is also rename this topic to pp2_t office. That's usually what I do. You can do it a million different ways. This is just what I do. You don't have to do exactly the same thing I do. So we want to now open up another tab, bring up our console, and let's calibrate. Let's see how far this one is off. So let me this over here where it's not going to. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. Now let's let it level out. That's an automation. So power set. Wait till it says 150 because I'm assuming he's going to grab. Come on. Tell me 150. This thing fluctuates a little. It's weird. It's this actual thing here. I'm just going to set it. Let's see what it looks like. Nope, it's off. Let's see, 153. All right, so let's see. Why is the power factor showing 0.8? What is it actually showing on the kilowatt? Oh, that's weird. Why is this only showing a power factor of 0.7? Okay, so let's see if I get a little more accurate doing it on the higher watt setting and not drop it. Come on. This must be doing some regulation in it. So there we go. Power set 300. Let's hear a reading. We're within 2 watts. I'm happy. The ideal thing would be to get a 60-watt light bulb. But I don't even know if I have any incandescent lamps laying around here, to be completely honest. So, but we're in 154, 156. We're within a couple watts, so I'm happy with that. But that heat gun definitely has something regulating the temperature. Did I calibrate the voltage too? I did not. 116.9 or 119 on the wall. We're in 124. What are my multimeter reads? I mean, you can go nuts and try to calibrate all this stuff as detailed as you want. At a certain point, it just doesn't matter. We're in 120. My meter. Here, 120. What's weird is the kilowatts reading. Although I'm willing to bet that the power's fluctuating because this circuit's got a printer on it right now. So as the printer's bed heats, it causes voltage drop on the line. You guys follow me? All right, let me see. Voltage set. And I'm going to wait for it to go back up. I'm assuming there's an Ender 5 Plus, which pulls a lot of juice. So I'm going to set this to 120 right now. Wait for the drop back down because the bed's going to heat back up on the Ender 5 Plus. There we go, 117. All right, we're bang on. 117, we're in 116. I don't know how quick this interface is updating, but again, close enough. Don't waste time. Verify the current reading by calculating current value using this firmware and using this formula. Yeah, I'm not even going to do that because it seems to be reading quite accurately. Even out of the box without doing the calibration, it seems to be pretty decent. Only a few watts off and a few volts off. If you're just getting rough data for your printer, it really doesn't matter. We're within a watt here. Let's go up to high. Yeah, good enough for me. So if you guys want to spend more time calibrating all this stuff, go by all means. At a certain point, though, you just get it good enough. It's just monitoring the power. It doesn't need to be bang on. You're not doing anything crazy, See there, the kilowatt was pulling 0.04 amps. All right, so this one's 2. I think I'm going to wrap the stream up, though, because I can do the rest of these offline. It's just the same steps. But, yeah, I'm going to label these just right on the back here. And configuring MQTT is kind of a bear if you're not used to it. I don't believe so. How these would then communicate over. So let's see. Let's see what plugins are available for Octoprint, okay? Because I don't think there's a plugin for Octoprint that sets up an MQTT server. So there's a couple parts you have to then use these with Octoprint. You have to have an MQTT server, which is just a service. It could be running on a Pi. You could have just a separate Pi Like let's say you don't have a server, you can set up a separate Pi just for running the MQTT server, and all these plugs talk back to that Pi's MQTT server. And then all your Octoprint instances would talk back to that one. That would be the ideal setup. But if you just have Octoprint, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to SSH into your Octoprint setup and set up an MQTT server on that same Pi. I recommend having something that's a little bit beefier, like a Pi 3B or higher. All right, here, let's see. Simple plugin to control SON-off devices that have been flashed with Tasmota. Now, these are not SON-off devices, but it's running Tasmota. So let's see what options we have here. We have the IP and the index. So that would be, index would mean if it's a multi-device outlet, which outlet it is. These have one, so it would be one. My Ender 5 Plus is printing right now, so I can't. That's what one of these is going on. But you know what? The Soval is going into my fleet here. I'm gonna go up there, so let me grab the Pi I'm going to use for it, and let's see if this works directly with it. Okay. I don't know if I'm up for this right now. Later, Jim. Yeah, so I'm debating if I want to do this, because here's the thing. Even for me, even though I have an MQTT server, I don't necessarily care if my outlets for the printers talk back to MQTT. This is actually a simpler setup. So the only thing is, you would have to have a static IP on the outlets for that plugin to work. Whereas with MQTT, the only thing that would have to remain static is the IP of your MQTT server, which is only one IP address to maintain. Let me see if Tasmota has an option for static IP setting. I'm willing to bet it does. So let me plug this one back in. This is outlet number 1. Now most routers, you see mine, my router just automatically it gave it the same IP. You see these things boot up quick, so let me see here. You might have to do it through the console. Oh, and actually, here's something I didn't realize. I'm going to do this for the future ones, okay? You can back up your entire config. So now all I'm going to have to do is upload this to the outlet 3 and 4, these other two, and it'll pull in all the settings, all the Wi-Fi information, the MQTT server. I'll just have to change the name and the template. So that's another thing. If you've got a bunch of these outlets, and I would recommend staying on one brand of outlets to make your config setup easier. You can mix and match, but I try to stick with one, get one thing and stick with it. But let me see here. Tasmota static IP. There we go. So you can set up a reservation in your router to handle that, or you can put it on the device itself. Let me see what these work around. Static IP configuration through web interface. Oh, I believe that already works by going to /cs. Let's see. Oh, it's console. All right, so hang on. I saw a thing right here, commands. There we go. This is what I was looking for. All right, so how to use commands. Wi-Fi, here we go, IP address. Cool. Okay, follow IP address commands with a restart 1 to apply changes. Okay, so you can enter in all your information. So I I know my IP pool starts at 100, but I don't know what I have. I have a bunch of stuff statically assigned, so I've got a bunch of stuff, and I've got a range. I've got a range of devices, or a range of my IP address block that are reserved for static IP. So you can see here some of my Raspberry Pis and other, you're going to see a bunch of smart home devices popping up here. We're going to buy this product. It's at the link in the video description. It is an Amazon affiliate link, but I will let you guys know if these break on us, but $8.50 a unit? Come on. That is crazy. So you can see here, I got a bunch of TP-Link outlets. So I started at 50, and these are TP-Link. Here's some other Tasmota devices on my network here. So it looks like 51 and 52 are not occupied, but I've got 53, 54, 55, 56, 57. This is a lot of, I got a lot of devices on my network. What is this running? TP-Link Technology 72.69. Oh, this is my sprinkler controller. So I'm gonna throw these in. Well, I got 4 of them to add, so that means I have them at 51 and 52. It doesn't look like I'm utilizing anything from 30 to 40. So I'm going to assign this to .30 and then 31, 32, 33, 34. So, and it's not jogging my memory. I don't think I've put anything in that block that wouldn't be powered on. All my stuff that's active is on. So I'm going to IP address 1. I'm assuming, let's see if I need any bracer in. So 72 to 16.21.30. Okay, so it took that. IP address 2, which is my gateway, which would be your router, which is 172.16.21.254 for my network. And then IP address 3 is a subnet mask. I'm assuming they're going to do the full one, not a short. So 255, 255, 255.0, because I'm using a Class C. Well, I'm using a Class B address with a what would normally be a Class C subnet mask. Okay, so it's the full mask. It's not like the CIDR format where you got the /24. And now our DNS. Oh, wait, no. Wait, hang on. Did I screw something out? 2 is a gateway. 3 is a subnet mask. Okay, and 4 is the DNS, which is also my router, which is usually your router. IP address 4. And then let's see if it takes effect. So restart. 1. Nope, I heard it click. So now if I hit 30, still booting. There we go. So that's how you set the static IP. So that one's .30, and I'm gonna since these are static, I'm gonna put the IP address of the device on the label, so I know what IP address it is on the physical device. So the next one will be 31, next one will be 32, then 33. So I would recommend for doing stuff like this, just static assign it on the device and label the device. I could do it through an IP address reservation on my router, but now that that has a static IP, I should be able to use this plugin. So let me plug a Pi in and install this plugin and see if this works. Because if this works, you don't need an MQTT server. You can use an MQTT server. I have a 4-outlet strip that I did a video on previously that I soldered onto Flash before I learned about the OTA thing we just did today with the Pi. But I'm going to convert it over to a direct control because there's no reason, I don't have any reason for my Home Assistant setup or anything else that talks to MQTT to be able to turn my printers on and off. I'm going to be doing that directly from the Octoprint interface. So let me grab a Pi that's going to go with this printer, and I'll pair these 2 devices up. Now, if I really wanted to, I could also label on the Pi what outlet it is paired up with that in the configuration. They claim 10 amps. I wouldn't put more than 6 through them. Chinese. you guys will like this. This is how I do the pies in our farm and in my office because we have PoE. Got a little splitter here, and this is going to a Pi 4, so I got a micro to USB-C on it. But my pies pull power from my switches. So, oh, this is a 3B. I thought this was a 4. I mean, I'm going to use it anyway, so. It works with the 3s as well. So all I have to do now is plug my Ethernet cable into my Pi splitter here. It fires up. You might not be able to see the red light, but it's on. In a sec, the network port should light up. There we go. It's got, this is one of our Easy Pi kits. This is a 3B. We sold the 3Bs with aluminum cases for a short while, but we decided to not complicate things. We're just going to have the 3B and the 4B, and the 3B is going to be the cheaper one in the ABS case, and the 4 is going to be the Pro in an aluminum case. Both of them have cooling fans on them. So here we go. So I just plugged this in. So here's my next lease. I'm assuming this is the Pi I just plugged in because this is at the top of my leases. I would assume so because 138 doesn't sound like an IP I've hit. And one of the other videos I'm going to do is showing you guys how to change the host name via SSH on your Pi. And I'm going to break that onto a separate video. So I'm going to use my login, ezp1.th3d. Since I'm using our image, why not? Let's save the password. But I'm also going to static the Pis. I usually do the Pis through a DHCP reservation because doing a static IP on a Pi is a pain in the ass. So, and this is this image was built a couple months ago, so I'm assuming it's probably going to be like, there's outdated stuff, or I started in safe mode or something. All right. So I'm going to search for this plugin. So Octoprint-Tasmota is the plugin name. I'm going to hit the wrench. Gonna go and hit the wrench here. Go to plugin manager. Oh, this looks like it's still starting up. I'll usually reload the page then. Make sure you disable ad blockers with Octoprint because I've had to do some weird stuff where the interface looks all sorts of funky. What's a great way to start with home automation? Get yourself I like the Google Homes. I used to be a big Alexa person, but they've been locking down the local access to interface between something like Home Assistant and them, so I switched over to Google Home. I also love being able to cast to the devices, so I'm a big Android user here. I'm going to let this Pi just kind of start up because this probably hasn't been started up in a little bit. And the initial startup takes a second. Yeah, it's still thinking. So the 3Bs work fine for printing. They're just not super fast with the interface. Like if this was a Pi 4, it would already be up and loaded by now. So there we go. But once they're on, I'm not turning them on and off all the time. It doesn't make a difference. They both do the same thing. They both run a webcam fine. It's just one's cheaper than the other. But if you want to get started in home automation, pick yourself out up a couple outlets, get a Raspberry Pi, set up Home Assistant on it, and then, like a Google Home, and just go nuts. You can have so much fun. Let me see here. So this is saying it can't find. It's like it's not able to contact the internet because it's acting weird here. Because normally it would tell me, yeah, here. It's like sitting here. There is an option here. I'm wondering if it just can't. Oh, there it goes. See, it was just taking a sec. Because this is the first time I power up. So if you leave a Pi sit for a while, you'll get a million updates like this. So, but if I go back here, there we go. So this is what you should see. So I'm going to paste that name of the plugin here. So here we go, Octoprint-Tasmota. This is the one I'm using currently, but like I said, I'd rather just have the Pi talk directly to the outlet. So I'm going to install this, and it's going to have me reboot, and I'll put the IP address in for that outlet, and I'll put this camera back on here so you guys can see if it successfully controls it. So it says done, and I'm going to hit restart now. Wonder if people would buy these outlets if I pre-flash them. Pre-flash Tasmota outlets for your printer. I don't know. I mean, if they're $8.50 from Amazon, I wonder what I can get these directly from the manufacturer for. Like, I wonder if I can get these for like $2 to $3 a thing, and then we could sell them for like $5 and undercut even Amazon. Because you got to remember, those sellers got to deal with those sellers have to deal with all of Amazon's fees. I'm just saying. Okay, so I hit reload now, and I'm gonna ignore this. I'll update later. So you we got a new power button here. It's just got a little question mark. So I'm gonna go and configure the plugin, and usually they show up over here. So here we go, Tasmota, and I'm gonna hit this little edit button here. All right, so remember IP was 172.16.21.30, and I'm going to call that one's EP1 T Office. I don't have a password and whatnot set on it. So let's see. Let's save. Oh. I think it turned it off. It's on. Do you want to proceed? Oh, look at that. So the light blinking just means the Wi-Fi is active. Oh, I turned it on. Are you sure you want to proceed? Bam! That's amazing. It's amazing when something just works. Look at that. That is fantastic. So no MQTT server needed at all. You can go directly to the outlet with this plugin. I love it. I absolutely love this. Now, if you set a well, here we go. Look at this. It has an option for thermal runaway. So if your printer thermal runs away, it'll it'll ask you, or I'm assuming it'll shut down. I can't. Oh, here, enable thermal runaway monitoring, max bed temp and max extruder temp. Look at that. So it's gonna this plugin itself is gonna watch the temperature of your hot end and bed. And I'm assuming what happens is you enable this here, okay, and you have this set as this device is going to be used for thermal runaway. Because if you look, you can control multiple plugs with this. So if you had a plug for lighting in your thing or other stuff, you can have it do different things. You can use countdown timers. So these are nice. So some boards take a second to boot up. So it will try to automatically connect to the printer. So I usually set like 5 here. And then I'll usually set my countdown to like 60 seconds to give the fans time to run to cool down. So it doesn't just shut the printer off. You can also do here, if you look here, if you do G-code trigger, you can add these into your starting code to turn on and off the printer. Okay. Or even run system commands before off and on. This is a really slick plugin. So let me check this on delay. Oh wait, no. Off delay countdown. Oh, countdown timers. Okay. Oh, that's for auto disconnect. Okay, I want that at 0, and I don't want to on delay. So I'm gonna. This is the auto connect. So this will auto connect to the printer it sees. I'm gonna give it 10 seconds for the printer to boot up and show its serial port to Octoprint. If you set this too low, it's just gonna fail. And then the off delay countdown is what I said. This is what's gonna give it time to cool down. Let your fans run for a little bit before it kills power. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna leave this on. This is awesome. You can check single relay device or not single relay device. I don't know what status polling is. You can log. There's a lot of options with this. So let me plug the printer into it. Did I bump this? Is this still on? Oh, you know what? I think this network port's a little... There we go. We're back. All right, it should come back. The Pi didn't lose power. my network jack on this little power strip thing is kind of finicky. All right, so I have the printer's power switch set to on. The printer is connected to the outlet. So I'm going to turn this on here. I don't know if you guys can hear that beep. That's my SVO1 with the easy board powering on. Hang on one second. Aaron's calling me. Hello? No, it's fine. Are you coming back here or no? Or could you tell me where those labels are? Okay. That's fine. I'm streaming right now, showing these outlets off. But yeah, I just need the labels whenever you get back so I can label them. Thank you. All right. All right, so you can, let me see here. So you can see it connected to my printer automatically. So look at that. So I'm going to disconnect. If I hit power off, see how it automatically disconnected from the printer? It hasn't shut the outlet off yet, though. I don't know if you guys see that. I told it to. But it didn't shut the outlet off. Now it's off, but it thinks it's on. Did it just get out of sync? Let's see. No, this is no good if you're on your Pi from your printer power supply. I run mine off of PoE. So my Pis themselves run off of PoE. So it should be trying to auto connect. Let me do this. Let me restart. When all else fails, reboot. So I'm going to reboot the Pi now. The plugin's all set up. The Wi-Fi outlet's plugged in. It's on the Wi-Fi. I'm assuming what happened is the states got out of sync where the outlet thought it was off, or the outlet was off, but Octoprint thought it was on. So let me restart and see if it works correctly after that. 1.138. Did I? Oh, -1. I meant -T. There's nothing wrong with powering your Pi off your printer. It really depends on your setup. This is fucking awesome. How's that? How's that for some light swearing? Like, this is the stuff I live for, is like taking these little Wi-Fi outlets and repurposing them and not having to use the shitty Chinese software that comes on them that's probably got backdoors in it to let China get into your home network. And those of you guys that think that that's all bullshit, where, you know, the Chinese are backdooring equipment, I have literally purchased multiple cameras, like no-name IP cameras off Amazon, and one of them did a packet capture on because I was wondering why my outgoing traffic was so high when it shouldn't have been, because I can see all that on my router. I'm using pfSense, and there was a guy connected from China with a telnet session scanning my network from the fucking IP camera. So all my IP cameras here, even though I have, you know, name brand ones now, are on their own VLAN with no internet access. So yeah. These, I would not be surprised if Smart Life has some sort of backdoor, or if they could push an update that would allow a backdoor. I'm not chancing it with this stuff. The only company I have hardware on from that's not modified firmware-wise is TP-Link, and I haven't noticed any weird shit with them. But I've been switching over to these because these are cheaper and more versatile because I can put my own firmware on them. All right, so you can see the Pi started, and my printer's connected over USB. Now, here's the thing. When you have a printer that has a stock board, this has my easy board in it. When you have a printer that has a stock board that it'll keep the board powered over USB because it doesn't have that segmentation of the 5 volt coming from the power supply or the USB, you would want to configure this plugin to not disconnect. And here, what I mean, not auto disconnect, because it will still stay connected to the board. So your board will always have power with a board like those. but you can still toggle your 12 or 24 volt power supply on and off. So I just wanted to make a note of that. So, but in this case, I've got the easy board in here and the printer's completely off. Come on, camera. There you go. For $50, I'm pretty impressed with this little camera. I just want to chime in. This is a little $50 camera that's 1080/60 from Amazon. All right, so I'm turning it on from the Pi. Oh, you guys can't see it, but I clicked the little Thunderbolt icon. The auto exposure on here is not very good, but 60 FPS. All right, so you can see there, it's connected. I'm going to, let me see, if I do an emergency stop, it doesn't kill the, so even though I did an emergency stop, which sends a G-code command to, which is M112, which kills the printer, it did not shut the power off. I don't expect it to, but I was just seeing if it did that. But I'm going to go ahead and tell it to turn off. It's not turning it off. You see that? It's weird. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's 60 seconds. So I'm wondering if you manually tell it to turn off, it's using this countdown timer. The other plugins I use, the MQTT one, if you manually hit off, it instantly turns it off. So let me see if that's the case with this. Octoprint disconnected. Yeah, you can tell Octoprint not to disconnect from the printer. You can go through behavior, serial connection behavior, and you can tell it ignore or disconnect from the printer. By default, our image is set to cancel any prints but stay connected. Or you can just hit ignore. There we go. I just heard the relay click. So the 60 seconds, so the plugin is working. The only thing is that 60 seconds, I'm going to forget about that. So I'm going to go to shut it off and think it's not going off. So like if I turn it on, I'm going to show you what I mean, why this plugin could use an update. Maybe I can code it in. So as you can see here, it's connected to the printer. You know, I can be like, there you go, send M117 command. Sorry, I said the wrong thing. There we go. But again, so like, oh, I'm going to tell it to turn off. So Octoprint's going to disconnect because the plugin's doing that, but the printer's going to stay on for 60 seconds. It's like, oh man, wait, I need to use that. So if I hit this again, it just turned it off. You see that? So now if I hit it again, it thinks it's on. The plugin still thinks it's on. And now it thinks it's off, and it is off. So if I do this, so if you cycle it, it looks like it just kind of sorts itself out. Now I'm wondering here if I set this to device enable status polling. So I'm wondering if this will check. Let me read the directions here. So status polling, does he have any documentation on this? He does not. Let me see. Let me look at their GitHub. It's funny. This was based off the TP-Link Smart Plug one because it still says TP-Link Smart Plug. So he modified the TP-Link one. Let me see if enable status polling will sort that out. So my printer's my printer's off right now. Okay, so I just told it to told it to stay on or turn on. So we should get a COM port in a sec here. Oh wait, It turned it back off. Oh, it's doing something weird here. Turned it on then off. Okay, so this plugin's a little janky apparently. The MQTT one doesn't have this issue. Let me see as a temporary workaround. Let's just say screw the turn off. Let's say screw the turn off countdown. And I'll have to open a bug report here. Screw status polling, doesn't matter. Alright, so let me see here. Let's see if it works without having that off delay. And this has nothing to do with Octoprint or this outlet. This is the plugin here. So if I tell it to turn off, are you sure? Yes. It turns off instantly and it disconnects from the printer. So if I want to reconnect to the printer, he should really have it, the guy who wrote this plugin should really have it so when you manually turn it off, it just cuts it off instantly. But after a print, that G-code command M81, I believe, is off. But you can see this is working correctly. So I'll see if I can patch it myself, but if not, I'll do a bug report with the plugin. But this is working as intended. What do you mean? You can see the mouth moving but not hear anything. What do you mean? Hello? Hello? There should be no delay. You guys messing with me? I pull up my YouTube app. Let's see. Checking. I want to see. Let's see. That's perfect. What are you guys talking about? Anyways, I hope you guys learned something. I still think this is really cool. This is exactly what I bought these to do with. I bought these for the Ender 5 Plus, and for any other printers I have, like the Kingroon KP3 is going to get one of these outlets. Or actually, they might not, because I have a 4-channel strip down there right now. Which if you get ones that are multiple outlets, it's only one static IP, and then you set the index. So your first outlet's going to be relay 1, your second's going to be 2, then 3, and then 4. So it's the same process for a multi-outlet setup. Like if you have a device that has multi-outlets, as these, you just change the index. So my recommendation would be stack assign your outlet that you're using. Don't even bother with MQTT unless you want that integration. But the nice thing is, let's say I did want to be able to tell my Google Homes or from my smartphone app, you know, for Home Assistant, to be able to shut down all the printers, like a full halt state. I could still set up the outlets to also talk to my MQTT server and still let the Octoprint Pi setup have direct control of the outlet. So if that makes sense. So you can do both. I don't really have a need to do that, but pretty neat. So like here, if I tell this to preheat, you can see the watts climb. Yeah, the multi-outlets don't have the power I don't care about power monitoring. It's neat. Don't get me wrong. It's cool that I can see it, but I'm not going to do anything really with this data. But it's nice that, like here, if I tell this to turn off here, see there? It instantly updated. And we can see we're no longer drawing power. So yeah, that's about it. Oh, sorry, I'm yawning. I haven't had much coffee today or energy drinks. So, did you guys enjoy this? Do you guys want me to do more stuff like this? I'm glad I found that plugin that talks directly to these, because now you don't need to mess with an MQTT server. So, even though I have an MQTT server, going forward, I'm going to have my outlets statically assigned to their IP address. My recommendation is label them so you know. Label your outlets so you know what you name them and what IP address they're on. And scan your network before you set an IP address. Make sure nothing's replying on that address. Go into your router and adjust your DHCP lease pool. There's an option to say the range of IPs you want to be able to be assigned. So what I have on mine is from 100 through 199 is my DHCP range, meaning those are, I got, you know, that many IPs. So 99 IP addresses, or 100 IP addresses for DHCP devices. So like my phone, my laptop, my computer, stuff that doesn't need a static IP. So one of the things I do want to show you, because right now if I ping octopi.local on my computer, it's going to resolve to one random pi. So I know this one's going to now be married to my SVO1. So I'm going to show you guys how to change the host name, because if I ping octopi.local, I got one of the pies from our print farm. Sorry. So if I ping octopi.local, I didn't even get this one. Now, I do know if I ping Vicky.local, because I'm pretty sure I named that one. Why is this coming off the IPv6? Really? Hang on. Do the pies have IPv6? I know I have one. Oh wait, that's an old static lease. I gotta go through and clear out some of my old leases here. Yes, I do, because some of these printers are in my office now. That's why that resolved weird. Okay. Bear with me 1 second here. So we have printers that were originally out in the farm, and now they're in my office. So, let me just see if there's any other ones here that I can get rid of. There's one that's an example. So, our Pluto. Pluto is one of our printers. So if I do ping Pluto.local, this should resolve to .63. Oh, that's on my other subnet. Hang on. Ping Pluto. What's the DNS name for that? What did I set the DNS name for that? Pluto.th3d.local.lan. So there you go. So I could actually plug that IP address, pluto.th3d.local.lan, into my address and hit the pi. Okay? So if you guys have one pi, you can do octopi.local. And this is resolving to one of the random pies. So the thing is, I've got like 20 hosts with the name octopi.local, including the new one I just set up on, what was it? What was the address of that one? Hang on. I think it was 138. Did I show? I think it was 138. Yep. Okay. So, to set the name, so I know this is going to be my SVO1. So I'm going to putty into, putty SSH into this, so 21.138. So I'm hitting the IP address of this pi. It's going to ask me, do you want to allow? Type yes. And if you're using our image, we have a different SSH one. It's documented on the site. So I put that in, and what you can do is rasp-config. I can't remember if you have to run it. Yeah, you have to run it as sudo. So sudo rasp-config. You have to enter your password again. And here you get an option, and you can go to network options. It's number 2, host name, and you see it's set to Octopi. Give me a name for this printer. Give me a one-word name, like an actual name for this printer. I'll let you guys name my Soval SVO1. Each printer has a name. So what's this one going to be called? Randolph? Okay, anybody else got any ideas? Shit kidder. I already have one named Uranus in the print farm. That's way too long. I'm not typing that out. Printing McPrinterface. We already have one named Cardi B. I like Frank. I'm gonna go with Frank. So this one's name is now Frank. So I'm gonna type Frank as the host name, hit enter. And if you want to go back and verify, show Frank. So Frank. And then I'm gonna go down and hit finish. And it says, do you want to reboot now? I do. So now next time this gets an IP address, I should be able to ping frank.local, and it should come back with that. So I don't need to memorize the IP address of my Pis. Like I know like 172.16.21.150 right now is my CR10, which is not printing. So let me name it. That one's name is Sandy. So let me connect to Sandy's Pi and do the same thing. So Pi, and we're going to do sudo rasp-config. Network options, host name, and this one's already named Sandy, so we're going to keep that name. Tab, finish. Yes, I'd like to reboot. So now, if my router updated its local DNS, if I ping frank.local, it should be resolving to 138. Let's see. Well, it's doing IPv6. God damn it. Well, let's see if it resolves in my browser. So I do frank.local. There we go. I'm going to hit remember me, and I'm going to save this. So, thinking about selling these kind of devices, it wouldn't be too hard for me to sit down and flash a bunch of them, and then provide directions on connecting to the access point they set up, so when they would ship, they would say son off. Update the firmware, and write documentation on how to do this. I could even do a branded TH3D Tasmota firmware. Oh, the printer plug. The easy plug. Oh! The eFun easy plug. What do you think about that? I don't know. I feel like a lot of people... Well, I do videos like this because I want to show you guys this cool stuff. But I really don't think people will want to pay us like to have these reflash when you can just do this. I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think it'd be worthwhile? Because I can... I'm not going to lie. $8.50 a unit. I might just buy a bunch off Amazon, charge a couple bucks. I wonder if we can get branded ones. That would be sick. Like a little plug. You know what? Let's see how crappy or shitty these are before I commit to them. Because first glance they look nice, but you guys know what China does. They make stuff that looks decent, but it's crap. So let me see if these are crap, because I'm wondering if one of my suppliers will be able to get these. Because if they can get them branded. Oh, that'd be great. Okay, we're going to sacrifice one in the name of science. I don't know if you guys know, but this is how a lot of new product ideas come out, is I'm sitting around screwing with stuff, and yeah, that's what happens. I get an idea, I play with things, and sometimes they result in new products. Man, if I could figure out how to like automate everything, that'd be great. This I'm liking this camera, but look at the exposure. Not doing too well. But it's 60 FPS. I don't know how much better Logitech would do. Okay, so if we look, my voice is going to get a little... I'll turn my gain up a little bit because I'm going to be away from the mic. So hopefully you guys can still hear me. If I look, there's a little seam here. So this is obviously the point of entry. I don't see any other way into this device at all. So, a little flathead in here. The question is, I might end up destroying this, but I want to see what's inside. I want to see how the solder joints are. I want to see how well or poorly built this is. I don't have a hammer handy, but I do have a set of pliers that are beefy. Oh. Alright, well, it's obviously just glued. Let me see if I can adjust the exposure on this camera. I can. Wait. Hang on, let me set that to defaults. Let me set the white balance so it's static. It's way overshooting the backlight comp. Nope, that's not what I want. That's way too dark. The gain is at 0. That's the gain at 0. That's at 100. That's at 0. All right, well, this will be halfway decent. So you can see here, I got the case started. Ooh. I think it's gonna fight me. Let me look at a teardown and see how easy these are before I go and possibly ruin this thing. If there's already teardown, let's say efun sh331w. Well, I typed fifun. I want to get inside, but I also don't want to ruin it. I want to see if somebody tore this down. So these are ones I bought. Yeah, these are links in the video description. So if you want to get one, definitely help me out. Because I definitely bought these with some affiliate money that we got from Amazon. So let's see here. Are there any pictures? I don't see any pictures at all. Let's see, has anybody taken one of these apart yet? Anyone? Anyone? That's a different one. Is this it? Oh, it's a Hyleton. This guy post any? This guy said he was having some issues with these plugs on firmware 7.0, but it's better on the newer ones, so that's good to know. I don't see any teardowns though. So guess what that means I have to do? We have to sacrifice one. I'm wondering if I just break around the edges if it'll come out, because it doesn't look like the plastic extends down into the rest of it. They glued this good. We're so close. So close. I'm bending my fudger thing or whatever you want to call this. Come on. Just trying to make sure. Oh man, I'm glad I opened this. We're almost in. We're almost in. Try not to stab my hands here. Just this one corner is holding out on me here. There we go. Look at that. So we got a little relay here. Here's our Wi-Fi chip. There's the shunt here for the current sensing. And why I said I'm glad I opened this is because if you look here, now it was soldered, so it'd probably be fine if you don't disassemble it, but when I pulled this board up, the ground pin pulled out of the solder there. Do you guys see that? Question is, can I push it back in and then solder from the other side? What is this solder? Oh, so the two prongs actually go into the case here and then come through soldered onto the board. That's interesting. Ground just passes through. Well, let's desolder these two pads here and see what's on the other side of the board. And I'm going to take pictures of this and post them online so other people know what it looks like inside. There's some like epoxy goop in here on the inside. Yeah, they just glued this, so I'll be able to get this back together because you can see it was just glued. So I'll be able to put some cyanoacrylate, whatever you want to call it, super glue in, and still be able to use this. Yeah, look at that. It comes with a little stand for soldering. I have a feeling these are going to take a decent amount of heat to solder. I might have to get my bigger iron. Oh. Give it a sec. Come on, Hako, you can do it. I really need to get a desoldering gun. I really loaded that up. There's still a ton of flux on it. I did pull a little bit of the pads off, but nothing I can't fix. Not a big deal. I could have probably non-destructively removed this without ruining any of the pads, but whatever. Alright, so let's take a look at this board here. There's a little bit of the line voltage going here, but the current that's actually going to your stuff is going through this trace here, through the shunt. There is a 10 amp fuse right here, which is nice. There's a lot of flux still on the board, but whatever. Now, I did lift a little bit of this pad up here, but this is only a tiny one that looks like it's powering the step down, so I should be fine because this one's still intact. You can see here, though, what is going through here? Okay, so all the current for this one, for the, what is it, line or the neutral? Line. All the lines going through the fuse here and on this trace, which then goes through the relay, and then the relay, where's that going? So it's going across here. So these two pins here are what's doing the relay. Now here's the thing. You can see they tried to beef up the trace by adding solder. This is a very common practice. But it's not done very well. So I don't know. I don't think this would have any issue running a printer. Would I trust this to 10 amps? Probably not. I have a feeling things are going to get toasted. But since I'm in here, I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. And they should have just added a little more solder like this. That's how that should have looked. It was like that. And then I'll just add a little more here. Why not? Who knew? There we go. So you've got your board here with your data pins, your GPIOs, your power and everything. You can see here's, I'm assuming this is for the current sensing right here. This is running ESP8266. You can see here it says some Chinese brand. Let me see how well this camera does focusing up close. Let's see. I'm going to manually tell it to focus. Let's see how close we can get. The Logitechs can get pretty close. Oh, it just like freaked out on me. There we go. So yeah, it's 8266 ICERI. Oh, there you go. You guys can see it closer up of the board here. You can see where the ground pin pulled out right there. Do you guys see that? So I should be able to hit that with a soldering iron from the other side. Because if you look here on the other side, there's the tab for the ground. If I just heat that back up, that should solder it back up. Yuanzi Electric is who makes the, or Yuanzi. Oh, the E isn't the E isn't lined up. Would I trust this for 10 amps? Probably not. Would I trust this for a printer, which is about 5? Yeah. Yeah, I would. What brand of caps are these? Zonka. Wait. Zuhao? Never heard of them. Chong X. It's got a Chong X cap right here. There's a little coil there. There's a little step down. You can see there. And a regular. There's AMS 1117. So that's what's powering the module. So it's a nice little bit of kit, or little bit of kit. I like it. So let's go ahead and fix this. So when I pulled that out, what happened was the pad lifted, and I want to add more reinforcement to here. Oh wait, it goes through. It goes through on the other side to the tray, so we're fine. It doesn't matter that I left a little bit of the line. It's on a side that didn't even have anything on it. All right. So let's see if I can get the ground pin to solder back up. So I'm just going to re-hit this solder right here with my iron. And it's going to take a sec because there's a lot of copper here. Let me see if I can get the ground back attached. Sometimes if you're soldering, it helps to put it back, put more solder in. Let me see if I can get this hot enough because it's right in the center here. There we go. All right, let's see if that took. Oh, that pin's really hot, so. All right, it's soldered back up. Cool. Now, I don't think it would have been an issue if I didn't open it. I just want to make that clear. Because it obviously was soldered in at one point. So let me go ahead and fill this back in. Make sure we get solder on the main connections here. I'll make sure it goes underneath too. Yeah, a little more. We want it to flow down inside there. Fast as we can. All right, we're looking good. All right, now I got to do the same for the line. That sucked up the solder real nice. All right. So I'm going to snap this back in the housing and plug it in and see if it, woo! Those are hot. See if I broke it or not. Oh, that's one that I haven't configured yet, so I think that's just going to show sound off. So let's see. Or Tasmota. Voila! Tasmota! I didn't break it. Look at that. Save. There we go. So I didn't break it. I wouldn't call it serviceable, but it's a very simple device. Screw you, Tyler. So there we go. It's on 172. So now here, remember I said I backed up, so I'm going to hit restore configuration and select this. Let's see. Oh, wait. I got to update first. I got to update, remember? I updated the firmware, so I don't want to restore firmware from the 8.0 or 8.1 to the 7.00. How the hell is he still holding on to that solder braid? I don't know. Magic. My coil is not happy with me. All right, let's see. Did we update? I have to like force a refresh, like hold down control. See, it says minimal. This one did. Do you guys see the other one said, you know what? I think I'm just refreshing and I'm catching a glimpse. It's probably updating to the full one in the background. So I think it downloaded or did like a partial update and now it's doing the full update, which would make sense. Give it a sec. And then I can restore that configuration from the other one. And remember, I got to change the name because that's an unlabeled one. PP1 is there. And PP2 is right here. So this one would be PP3. PP3 bus. PPV bus? What is it? What is it that Lewis always goes on about? The PP buses on the Mac boards? Is PP buses? Oh, there we go. Okay, so you only need to do it once. All right, so I'm going to go to configuration and restore, and I'm going to choose the backup from the other one that I just did. I think I just did the minimal configuration and I think the name. So this will probably show up as like PP2. So remember, it's going to configure the module, so I should see an LED and stuff on the board. Oh, this actually doesn't have a name. Perfect. It's turning on and off. Awesome. So I'm going to, yeah, it was other. So PP3 _ T office. There we go. Save. It's that easy. So does anybody have any questions? I think I covered a lot. Let me see if I can unplug this without... Aha, I was able to unplug it without it pulling out of the casing. So I'm going to re-glue this. Might as well set up the other one. Are the solid bed mounts all the same height for all the different options? The Tornado has a different height. But the other ones are all the same height. Microsoft's auto connection test is annoying. So all I have to do is set the static IP information. There we go. And with these devices that have the like really small antennas, that's why I have multiple access points set at like 50% power output. So every device has a strong signal, but they're not going to try to connect to an access point that's far away. And when you have all these little smart home devices, I have a 5 gigahertz and a 2.4 gigahertz network, and the 2.4 is pretty much just smart home devices. Because you got to remember, Wi-Fi is a shared bandwidth, and you're going to get performance hits based on the slowest device connected to your network. So only things that actually have 802.11ac 5 gigahertz connect to my 5 gigahertz, and all the older stuff connects to all the older stuff, it's still updating. All the older stuff connects to my 2.4. So my 2.4 network is reliable but slow, and my 5 gigahertz is reliable and fast. So I don't have any slow devices on my 5. So when are you going to sell them? Do you guys want me to sell them in the store? I mean, I could probably sit down and flash like 100 of these in like, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours. It wouldn't be that hard. Because all you'd have to do is connect to the AP. I could have it update. I could have it flash it with the latest firmware instead of 7. And then you would get it and just connect to the Tasmota. What I just did here is put in your SSID. You got a CR10 S5 with a bed frame. So you would use just the rounds because the arm's going to hit. You could also just cut the arm down. All right, so I'm on 8.1. I'm going to update my configuration. The only other thing I could think of, okay, so obviously I could set up a pre-configured backup and ship them all with the same thing. The only thing would then be Wi-Fi. I don't think these will connect. What do these do if you put invalid Wi-Fi on them? Because I don't want to be having people firing these up and putting everybody's Wi-Fi info in. I'll have to think about it. I'll have to think about it because I can absolutely do this. Like these are slick. Like I said, I'm surprised that the quality of these inside is actually pretty good. I'm happy with the quality and the price these are. This is nice. And then I guess at least if we were selling ones, you guys would know it would run Tasmota, so you wouldn't be playing the roulette of, oh, well, they changed to a different revision, so we'd be making sure we get outlets that are on revisions that work. But I digress. I'll look into it. No promises. But these are cool. These are really cool. Yeah, I think it would have to... Can I ship... So I could set it up, connect it to our Wi-Fi, and then set it up in AP mode. Let me see. Let me check the... Let me finish renaming this. So PP4... Oh, no, that's not it. So you can set a password on this interface, but no one that's on this network is going to screw with these IPs, so I don't really care. Oh god, did I accidentally just lock myself out? Because I have no idea what the password was. It typed some things, but I didn't check it. Ah, son of a... Shit. Ah, it was capital P for... I was like, I thought I was typing the name. You can see, wait, let's just see if I can clear that out. There we go. All right. I was like, son of a... I have to go figure out how to remember to reset Tasmota. Okay, so let me see here. Configuration, configure Wi-Fi. I don't think you can put it back in AP mode without resetting it. I think if you hit reset, you can press and hold the power button. There's like, I think there's a sequence you can do, like as you plug it in, you can press and hold it and it puts it into like a reset mode. But yeah, so this is all configured. Main menu. This one's on and off too. Honestly, I'm not even going to bother calibrating these because I don't care about the power monitoring, and it was accurate enough out of the box, so whatever. Although maybe that has the power factor from the old one. So that's about it. So I got AP4. So I'm gonna label this one as number 4. These are slick. Like I said, I wouldn't trust 10 amps through this, but for a printer, just a printer, yeah, why not? I like finding cheap little things that work nice. And this would fall into that category. Is this super glue dried up? Of course it is. I had a bottle of super glue over here yesterday. Oh wait, I bought some. It's in the garage. Hang on. All right, I got some super glue. All right, so I'm going to show you guys how to put these back together. So, got some cyanuracrylate, aka super glue. They always erupt. I haven't had one that doesn't erupt on my finger. The Harbor Freight Special. So, I'm going to take this and put a bead. And I'm not going to go crazy. I'm just going to put a little bit. Because if I ever need to pop this open again, for some reason, I'll be able to do that. There we go. And let's go ahead and put this back in. And attempt not to get it all over my fingers. And from the front, you can't even really tell that I pried it. There's a little bulge right here. But this should be good. So I'll let that set up. And this was number 3. There we go. So I now have 4 outlets for my printers. And yeah. You could try Wi-Fi config 2. It sets the use of the manager for 3 minutes before trying any saved APs. Oh, that's a good idea. Let me see. Let me look up the documentation here. I don't know why I stuttered there. That would be cool. Can you guys tell that I pried? I mean, you can, but it's not that noticeable. Focus, you fuck. There we go. Come on. You can't tell me that's terrible. Like, can't even tell from the front. Like, there's a little on the side here, but... All right, well, I can't pull it out of there, so it's in there. Give me props. I disassembled something that wasn't meant to ever be opened and put it back together all without breaking it, and arguably improved it when I resoldered everything. All right, so he said Wi-Fi. He said Wi-Fi config. Let's look at that command. Wi-Fi config. Okay. Two, sets Wi-Fi manager as current configuration tool and start Wi-Fi web manager. Okay, for 3 minutes, then reboot and try to connect. So the question is that going to always do that? Because that's what I would want it to do. So number 1, I calibrated the power on. Here, so let's use number 1 as our test bench here. So that's on maybe not number 1, because that one's got a static IP. Let's do number 2. So number 1 is married to my Solval, and it's pi. But number 2, see, and I could write up documentation on here's what you need to do to set the IP. I could definitely document this. I just need to be able to configure it here and then send it out where it's going to be looking for an access point. Do you know what I mean? So the question is, if it can't connect to the access point that it's looking for, will it default back to AP mode? I haven't tried. So let's see here. So let's configure Wi-Fi. I'm gonna put in this. Let me see this. Let me just call it TH3D no Wi-Fi. I'm just gonna put an arbitrary thing in here. Password. Okay, so password is password. So let's see if it tries to connect to it and what the behavior is. Because if the yeah, you can steal 4 rounds, Corey. So for the universal bed kit is just 4 rounds. But what I'm saying is, if you have a full kit that you're not for an Ender 3 that you're not going to use on Ender 3, just take some side cutters and snip the arm portion off of the bed strain, and you have a round. It's not going to look super pretty, but it's functionally the same. The ABS on those, aside from the arm, the camera arm, and the bed strain, the ones on just the rounds, it's mostly cosmetic. So let's see if this came back up. Wasn't it 180? I don't know if it's going to default back to the previous one, or let's see if it's broadcasting. It is. Look at it's broadcasting a Tasmota name now. Okay, so all we would do then is voila. Okay, so if it can't connect, it falls back to broadcasting its own SSID. Oh, that's great. So I could set everything up. So let's say, oh, I just bought this plug from Tim. I connect to the access point. You could do this from your phone, or you could do it from your computer. How many times is it going to take me to type my password? Hit save. No problem, Corey. Yeah, look at that. So, if I just took this plug and shipped it now, when someone gets it, it's going to broadcast the SSID because obviously you guys aren't going to have my home network. So the question is, though, if I have this, will you guys be able to see my home network? You can't. Okay, is it visible in the config file? Let me see here. I'm assuming it could probably be decrypted. It's definitely encrypted with some method, but it does not look pretty. Yeah, you can get the password in the clear. That's what I figured. So what I could do is I could just set up an SSID here for testing. Like we have one for the Pis. We have a little Linksys router that sits on the desk of the guy that does all the Pis. He tests the Wi-Fi and the LAN. So, but as you can see here, it keeps the configuration. So if I pre-configured all these modules, and I could even like, let's here, configure other. I'd call this the, let's see. That amuses me. Look at that. I amuse myself. Yeah. That's slick. I like it. I like it. I like this little guy here. Funny thing is, this little outlet has more flash memory than the printer boards we use. And I'm not just talking about the 8-bit. So our 32-bit board is 512K of flash. This is 1024 1 meg. That's wild. Like, these ESP chips are nice. They don't have that many I/O pins, but they're pretty slick. Like, this whole web server is running on this Wi-Fi outlet. It's crazy. What's the spec on here? ESP8266 CPU. How fast is that? They're 80 megahertz. So the processors run at a faster speed. Yeah, so 80 is the default. Apparently you can go up to 160. I would not run these at 160. So these are faster than the 32-bit chips that are on the Big Tree Tech boards. Ours are 120. So this Wi-Fi outlet's got more CPU horsepower than Big Tree Tech's replacement boards. That's funny. Yeah, so MQTT, you enter in here. That's a protocol for smart home devices. Domitiz, this is another like home automation platform. It's got a timer. I forgot about this. You can do timers on these. You can do logging as well. You can even do here. You can even log to you guys that know what syslog are. It even supports syslog, and you can do it over web, serial, MQTT. I think other, yeah, this is just this. So here's a template, and where you can set the web admin password and everything. Oh, this is pretty cool. Look at it. It can actually emulate Belkin Wemo or Philips Hue. I don't use any emulation. I'm not sure what the ESP32 is. Hang on. ESP32 specs. Let's see. It is a dual core operating at 160 or 240. So that's a fast chip. It does have a decent amount of inputs and outputs. It's not enough to run a printer. I mean, you could probably make one run a printer, but yeah, these are a lot of tech in a tiny little chip. These 8266 to 32s, they're wild. It's wild how cheap these are. Yeah, so let's see here. Yeah, 80 megahertz, 32K of RAM, 32K of instruction RAM, 32K cache RAM, 80K user data RAM, and it's got 16K ETS system data RAM. That's a lot. There's a lot crammed on all these little chips here. So yeah, it's neat stuff. But it's so tiny. All this in a little Wi-Fi outlet. So yeah, I think that about wraps it up. So I would say buy it. If you guys want to mess around with it, setting up. So here's the thing: setting up Tuya Convert, which is the service that runs on the Raspberry Pi. It took me about an hour and a half to do it, including set up Raspbian, which is why I have an SD card. So if you already have an Octoprint set up, you can just I would just recommend get a second SD card. It could be like a 16 gig one, 32 gig, and set that up for flashing these type of devices and keep it on hand. And then when you need to flash one, if you don't want to buy a second Pi, you can just swap the cards out, use it, and then swap it back. This is crazy that there's power monitoring and everything in here. I like it. The reviews seem to be halfway decent here. Successfully flash OTA with Tasmota. We did that to all 4. Obviously, it looks like the timing, you got to have the timing right to get them to flash, but we ended up flashing all 4, which is awesome. So, e-fun, no fun with Tasmota. Only got 1 of 4 working. I had to crack open the other 3 at hard flash. But this is a really old one. Now stable on 6.7.1. But this was from November, so there's been a lot of updates to Tasmota. They're on 8.1. And as you guys can see, I just retried and eventually got them all working. Let's see. Save up for one that works. Claims 1-year warranty, so I'll try it. It just arrived and won't turn on. Oh, this isn't even the same thing. Wait, what is this? Oh, he's showing that. Oh, he's trying to turn it on right away, right after plugging in. Are you? This guy doesn't realize you got to wait for him to boot up, and he's holding the button now. Some people, man. I'm not saying he couldn't have got a bad one, but I'm saying, like, you don't just try to press it as soon as it starts up. You got to give it a sec to boot. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this up, and I will talk to you guys later. I hope you enjoyed the stream. So that being said, everybody take it easy, and as always, happy printing.